everyone. Welcome to the Radiant Black podcast. This is the show where friends sit down and talk about Radiant Black and the Massiveverse. Today, we've got an amazing Radiant Black number 33 review filled with some reviews of certain panels, because we saw it twice. Not that we're complaining. I'm your host, Bash, and I'm joined by my friends and fellow hosts, Charlie, Ali, and Matt. How's everyone doing today?
Man, it's going good. I will say we postponed this because I got free tickets to go to Thunderbolts yesterday. I just kind of wanted to share this quick story. We were an hour in the movie and the whole screen started shaking, and then this guy had to come in and cancel the movie and shut it down.
What?
So that's never happened to me before, but I've seen half of Thunderbolts. But
are they like reimbursing you or something?
Yeah, they gave us they gave everyone a free ticket, but yeah, it was a full theater. Everyone was pissed, but yeah, so
Crazy.
Probably gonna go this weekend. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, we got this side of the what they call a crossover. I guess I guess we'll dive into that and see if we agree or disagree. But yeah, it's going good. Can't wait to dive into this. How are you, Matt?
I've actually had that happen to me in a movie before. I saw like Titan AE when I was like a kid, the obscure movie reference, and
I love that movie.
The screen went off. I went with my dad, and the screen just shut down like halfway through, and they gave us free tickets. But like,
damn,
and it's weird because you'll always associate that with the movie, right? Like when you see Thunderbolts, like that's the movie that like shit the bed.
I know. It's so good too. I was having such a good time, and then boom.
So you heard it here first, folks. Half of Thunderbolts is pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see.
The first half is great.
Next week you'll have to let us know. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Fell down the Minecraft rabbit hole. I might be dating another journalist, which is always scary. You don't want to be dating a lady that is really good at gathering information. That's risky. But no, other than that, pretty good. What about you, Ali? How's it going?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Weather's starting to get nicer. We got a new Radiant Black issue, and I'm supposed to go see Thunderbolts right after this. So let's hope I get to watch the whole movie.
I hope so too.
Yeah,
I hope so too.
I think with Matt, because we're both cheap bastards. Yeah. You know what's really funny? I should tell you this as well. So I went to pay for my ticket. Like I go in person because if you do it online, they charge you $150 just to use the website, and then they tax you on top of that on the subtotal. Yeah, the service fee, exactly. Some bullshit, guys. That is some bullshit. Please, like, man, what do you mean? Anyway,
online booking fee, my ass.
Exactly. Like, what do you mean? I have to pay you extra just to
it's for the convenience. You're paying.
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. Anyway, I went to the theater. Right, it's like downtown, so it's in my if I'm going to the comic shop, it's not really out of the way. So I went to the theater. I'm getting my ticket. And literally, it says $10.73 for the price. Normally, it's closer to like $8 or $7. And I'm looking like, well, why is this $10.73? Like, what the hell? Is this movie more expensive? Did they increase the prices? And they look, guess what they did? It's 3D, and there's no non-3D showings except on Saturday, on Sunday. Like, bro, what is this? This is like forcing me to go watch 3D. Anyway, whatever. I can't.
So you got it in 3D? You got to watch it.
I got. What am I gonna do, bro? Like, it's still cheaper than the regular ticket.
Are we still doing like 3D? Like that's been like I don't know. IMAX 3D or bust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that 3D. I'm going on Tuesday. I'm excited to see it. I've heard really good things. And and it seems like a serious movie. Like the trailer makes it look like a joke, but when you read the reviews, people are like, "Oh, it's about like depression and suicide and all these things." And I'm like, "Cool." Like, I wish they showed that in the trailer because I'd be more interested in that than a generic that's fair buddy cop buddy team like movie. Yeah, either way, like I like the Sentry, so I'll go see it for him. I don't care about any of the other characters. Like I don't dislike any of them.
I like Elena and
Florence Pugh is always.
I like her. I like the actor.
She's always great.
I don't like the character.
That's very fair.
It does feel beneath
I think she's great. I think she's great, and I'll enjoy watching her. But I feel like indifferent about the character. I'm like, she's a cool character, but it's not like I go read her books or whatever.
I got
but I love the Sentry. Like I've read almost everything the Sentry's been in, so I'm like, I really want to see, especially when Noel like ripped him in half. It's a funny way to end it.
Yeah,
I want to see the Sentry.
I didn't know shit about Void. Like when Sentry showed up and the Null crossover and what happened, I didn't know like the Void connection. I was like, oh, okay, like this guy's not strong enough, I guess. Like I didn't know what's going on.
Like I'd recommend his mini, but it's such a downer as well. Like it's so depressing. It's like it makes you feel like shit when you read it. It's a good book, but it's not like a happy ending. It's so depressing. You're just like, why am I reading this? Like
very excited. Might pass on that one.
I did see. I would say, add to your guys' story. When I went to see Sonic 3 here a few months ago, or maybe it was the last year when it released, I went to the theater. Okay, We just got to the theater, everything's good. And when they turned off the lights, every single light turned off except the one in front of the screen. And there was
perfect.
So the first 15 minutes of the movie, everyone in the theater was just like kind of talking because they're like confused because there's just this one light on and it was really distracting. And eventually this brave woman in the theater got sick of it and she went out and she got one of the people and she was like, please close the lights. And they turned it off after 15 minutes into the movie. Like the movie started legit. Like Shadow's all like, talking about being the superior life form and everything. Things still like shining in his face. So I've never had a movie like what you guys experienced, so that's crazy.
No, that has happened to me before. It actually happened with Deadpool Wolverine last year.
Damn.
It was just like I was like, I can barely see the movie. Like, is the brightness like what's going on?
I feel like that's happened to me before too. Like I've tried to go like mess with the lights or talk to somebody like, "Yo, do I have to do this? Can I get paid for this shit?" Because like the light should be. No, I don't know. But
I've seen people drop things on the projector and it shows on the screen. A little tap, right? But like I've never seen the movie blur and they have to cancel. That's wild.
Yeah. Anyways, we got Taskmaster.
Here we go, streaming service, guys. Yes. This is a decline in the cinema. Support your theaters, goddammit. Okay, let's get back to Radiant Black. All right, so guys, Radiant Black 33. I was telling the guys here, I think I was the only one that noticed something felt a little bit different. This is actually the first issue in a while that Becca Carey didn't letter because we got Buddy Boudouin who did some of the Cowl stuff, and I think he's still doing the Cowl 1964 issues. The letter. He's also been lettering Radiant Black 33. So I thought that was really cool. I'm sure it's like Becca's just busy or something, timeline thing. But I thought that was interesting. And we got the creative team of two writers, Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark. We got two artists, Eduardo Ferrigato and Marcelo Costa is not credited on the cover, but I will say he is credited with Eduardo as doing the inks for this issue, which I thought was really interesting because in the past, we've talked about how we would love to see both of them inking or one of them inking the other coloring. Like that would be just a cool thing to see. And I wanted to tell you guys, like in general, I wouldn't mind if in the future, like if they ever wanted to try this, maybe they already have. I'm pretty sure they probably did this already, but it would be cool to see more of. Is like if Eduardo's doing a full issue and then Marcelo colored the full issue, that would be really cool. Like to see, like because I feel like Marcelo is such a talented colorist that. If they can't get him to do the art, but maybe one issue here or there, they could get him to do the colors. It'd just be kind of cool to see how that'd be different, and just a cool change of pace. So we got Rod Fernandez on the colors on this one, who did a wonderful job, and we've got Eduardo Ferrigato as the penciler, Eduardo Ferrigato and Marcelo Costa as the inkers, Buddy Boudouin as the letterer, Wesley Griffith, production artist, editor, and designer, the one and only Michael Pasuto, and special thanks to Ryan Parrott, Nick Cotton, Abel, Becca Carey, Joseph Wachowski, and Roy McGrath. Without further ado, let's get into the book. We do have a quick, previously, and we'll do it. Best friends, Nathan, Burnett. Okay, we've read all this before. It's the same, but the last paragraph I'll read. As Chicago rebuilds, Marshall attempts to step up and be the best Radiant Black he can be, but a terrifying new threat targeting refugees from the alternate timeline lurks in the shadows. I have good news. Well, let's talk about the first page. Anyway, what I did was we're trying something new. Instead of showing different pages from the book, which we want to keep hidden as much as possible because we want people to buy the book. From now on, I'm just going to show the preview pages that they release in advance. That way, we're just showing what's already been shown and nothing beyond that.
Yeah,
exactly. So page 1, we get a really surprise cameo. I was personally not expecting this, but I really liked that they kind of brought this up again in the letter section. More on that later, but. The first page we see in Lockport, Illinois, that Marshall and Mrs. Burnett, as in Nathan's mom, are having a friendly little catch-up lunch, just talking about life and almost like being there for each other, like family almost. And I thought that was really cute. What do you guys think of that?
I like seeing, kind of and kind of spoilers, but we're going to go to Marshall's mom later. I like seeing the differences between like the two relationships. One obviously, Miss Burnett knows that Marshall is Radiant Black and the other one doesn't. And just kind of seeing those different reactions. But it's good seeing Miss Burnett back. both these characters have really been through a lot, especially Miss Burnett obviously lost Mr. Burnett, and Nathan's gone too for now. So yeah, she's kind of learning to live kind of more on her own now, and keeping herself busy with different activities and such. But it seems like she's in a good place, so that's good. And she's seems like Marshall and her are really there for each other, which is good to see in kind of a tough time. But yeah, they're I like their dynamic here, and just knowing that they can lean on each other, for knowing all that they've been through. So yeah, this first page was very cool, very cool.
Yeah, it's cool to see the juxtaposition between the moms. We'll explore it later on, but they're both, Marshall and Ms. Burnett, are dealing with, loss and a rebuild era, right? Like their lives are completely different now, and she knows that Marshall's radiant black and the weight of that. And it was nice to see. It's kind of cool to explore that dynamic, because you have people out there in the best friend community. If you hang out with your best friend's mom, will kind of know, especially if you grew up together, they kind of know you, and there's like a kind of bond, and they want to see the best for you, and they can see an outsider perspective because they didn't raise you, but they want to see the best for you if you're on good terms, stuff like that. So it was nice to see it. And Bash pointed out before on there, she's got different hairstyle, which I didn't notice, so I knew something was off. So
yeah,
a little different. She's readjusting, maybe going through some changes and trying new stuff, like what was it, water aerobics. So this is it's nice to check in with her. And I mourn the loss of Henry all over again, because that was such a well written, like devastating send off to him, and it just was super well done.
Yeah.
It made me think about Nathan too. Like, we haven't really kind of heard of or found out what he's been up to in California since this whole thing ended. So I wonder if maybe at some point in this arc or next arc we can kind of revisit Nathan again.
So I could say with certainty that we will, because in the letter section someone brings that up, and they say that we haven't seen the last of Nathan in this book. So we will see Nathan in the book at some point. I don't know if it'll be in this arc, but they said we'll see Nathan in the future, which is really nice, because getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but in this issue we get to see also another character, kind of more so than we have in the last few issues. So I personally really appreciate that. I think something they brought up as well in the letters section, the same person was like, when are we going to see Satomi, because we love her, and Michael said something along the lines of like, we know exactly where Satomi is right now and when she will be used in the story again, and she will be. It's just a matter of time. And he said he didn't want to say more on that. It was just basically something along those lines. So yeah, like,
she'll show up in the Kieran bolts, probably. She'll be on that ragtag group of no. Also, it was cool. It was nice to see. I totally lost my train of thought. Shit.
I guess it's the same can be said for Yellow, since we all had questions, but the reason people have kind of held off on the questions with Yellow is because we got the solicit of 36, which showed that the return of Yellow. So it's clear that the Radiant Black team has a plan, and things are going according to plan. So I wouldn't be too concerned in terms of like, will we see characters again? If they're those bigger characters, if it's like Kathy, who knows? But if it's like the bigger characters, there's a good chance we're gonna see them again, even very soon. I would say.
Real quick, did you see AI Gate with that cover where they got accused of doing AI for that Radiant Black cover?
All I will say is, if someone
was so good.
Like, I don't know how to take that. Like, would it be a compliment or an insult?
Insult.
I feel like AI is soulless, but at the same time, I don't know how anyone can look at Stefano's work and think it's soulless. Like,
you know what I mean? No, he dropped the time lapse after he
real quick.
He made sure that was great. And I guess it was Dan Panosian, right? He was being
accused, but even he dropped like all his. Like, I know Dan, I know his work for years now. I don't think Dan's ever used AI. Guys, Dan's just really fucking good.
There's lots of live footage of him trying.
He's a monster. Like, some people,
yes, it could be a compliment in some ways, but it definitely, I don't think they want it to come across as that.
And I saw Frank Cho, who famously did the first issue of Radiant Black cover. He
had
Michael Cho. That's it. I might be getting my Cho's mixed up. Then I should shut up, because there was a drawing of like Scarlet Witch with
if it's a sexy one. If it was a sexy one, it's Frank Cho.
Well, she had like multiple fingers, and whichever of the Chos was like, my job is safe for now, because obviously they replicated like a lot of it, but there was like 6 fingers because hands are difficult. They're like multiple. It looked like like the hand was in a garbage disposal or something.
Oh, okay. So, Hey guys, if you're gonna hold someone accountable for the AI thing, just make sure you're either like you're sure before you do it, because it's a big deal. Like, people can get canceled, their careers can get derailed. Like, I think Stefano said something along those lines as well. He's like, usually when people get accused of something like this, it's almost like up.
He handled it very well.
He handled it very well.
Yeah.
I think he said something like the person thanked them for being so nice about it.
Yeah.
They were like, should I delete it? And he
the
was
guy
like,
apologized.
No. And he was like, thank you for being so nice. And Stefan was like, I had a lot of chocolate today. It's probably why I'm being nice.
Very
classy.
That was cool to see. That was very cool to see.
Resistance AI is really important because they like the fat cats will look to erase careers in an instant and like a whole like job path if you're not careful. So I'm liking to see the resistance before it turns into Terminator shit. So it's good.
Yeah, it's nice to see people, holding others accountable, but just be careful. Just make sure you're sure before you, because it could, think about the other end of it, especially if you're an artist. Like if you're an artist seeing others and you're pissed about that, and think about the potential of like accidentally, saying this artist does this and they don't, and that could really screw up their career. So just be sure, because it's a different times now. Anyway, I got the cover here. We'll show some of the pages because we talked about the first page with Mrs. Burnett, and here's the cover. Oh, there we go. So gorgeous cover by
very cool.
Marcelo Costa. And if you really like this cover, so Marcelo actually has the original inks up for sale on his website. I think at Chiaroscuro Studios, because that's where where his agents are. So I'm not sure if it's still up, but last I checked, it was like $1,500 US or something. Gorgeous, huge cover. So if you really like the artwork on this cover, and I think it's gorgeous, you can get the original art. Check it out, guys. So highly recommend it. But here's the page right after, the page where
he goes to see.
It's in the wrong order. I'm sorry. This is the page. So we see him standing outside his home. He's brought some dessert, right? I really love something about this. Reminded me of when Robert Kirkman, and I'm not saying they got this from there. I'm saying it reminded me of some of the effect of the impact of the effect itself. So Kirkman does this thing in his comics, and he does it in almost all of his books, even the ones you think there's like a Oblivion song. Like, how are you going to do this here? He'd do it there. He loves to do a big splash page where it's just someone's face. Yeah. Like he just that's his thing. Like he loves that. So it always emphasizes the moment, like the tension, like how that person is feeling at that moment. It's really cool. I thought that was a good way to showcase like the emotions of Marshall on this page, because it's like everyone's been in that situation. Like you're starting a new job, or you're going to a new school, or you're showing up somewhere you haven't seen someone in a long time. You're kind of nervous, and it's like everyone knows that feeling. And you're standing at the door at the entrance, and you're just like, right? I feel like the Ben Affleck meme is like almost the reverse end of this, where he's just like smoking the cigarette after having gone through those feelings. But it's I felt that way, like seeing Marshall. I was like, I feel that tension, that the nerves that he has. I wonder, this was a great page.
Is this his childhood home, or is this
where I was wondering that too
now? Because I feel like that's an extra layer too above it if it's his.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm not sure. We still obviously don't know what happened with the dad, but maybe after that they had to downsize or go somewhere else. But I'd be curious to find that out. Yeah,
we're paying you real hard cash, really, if you get a better house than your parents do, and they bought it when the economy was, when the housing market wasn't like unreal.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why he has to share
an apartment with a girl.
Yeah, the bath bombs. Yeah, the bath bombs are killing it for him.
Yeah.
I did love this moment too. But honestly, and it would have got a little spoiled, I guess, in the previews. But I am still a little bummed we got spoiled on this in the last issue of Rogue Sun. Just talking a little bit about the Order again, obviously knowing that Rogue Sun, the last issue we read, takes place after this, and we heard about this conversation and kind of how it went. So I wish we could have kind of seen this in real time. But man, I nothing could have, I don't think, prepared any of us for what was gonna happen in this conversation. It was super funny. Orson's back though. It was great seeing Orson back.
Yeah. One thing I do love is this is the first of two times that Marshall's surprised by a dog catching him out of nowhere. So that's kind of a nice little foreshadowing.
That's true. Yeah.
I do love one thing I want to really emphasize on. So I've said before, I love Eduardo's art. I really do. I love the fact that we have two such talented artists alternating on the series, and they've both been on the series long enough to where both of their artwork feels core to the series, even when you can tell them apart. But we've also made the point to say that Eduardo, being so talented, has almost tailored his style to be a little bit more like Marcelo, so that there's visual continuity. One thing I love about this issue, though, is that you really get to see what Eduardo is better at, which is, in my opinion, facial expressions and emphasizing emotions through facial gestures and expressions. I think you see like a good example right here, and there's one in the next page that's even better, or even right here, right? Like right here, the pure joy on his face. Like I think Eduardo is very good at showing facial emotions. Like he's really good at like doing that. I don't know, he's just extremely talented. I don't know how. Like God bless him, but he's so good at it. Even like here, even look at Orson's face. You could like feel the joy in his face right here. And you know, this guy, you probably think, oh, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, it's easy to do faces. It's not. I swear, if you pay attention, if you go read like a lot of the comics, you really pay attention to the faces. It's the thing a lot of people struggle with the most. It's really hard. They make individual faces feel unique and different beyond just very shallow things. And yeah, so this page, we get the return of Orson, which was lovely, and we get a very funny surprise in the next page. Sorry. We get this surprise. So
she's so weird, man. And we obviously saw the last time they met, they had a really I don't know. It was a very dry, but she just didn't really care.
It
was
not
pissed.
Like this.
She was pissed that he left Orson to her, and she didn't care that he was just gone in existence for so long. And he stole like his his gift card after he offered to like take them out for dinner, right? Like she was so just rude about it, and she comes in here, acts like really nothing's wrong, and that's kind of where a flag kind of goes up, and you're like, okay, so like something's different here. She does look good. She looks rejuvenated, and we haven't seen her that often, but this is obviously the most friendly we see her. But we kind of something happens, and it's apparently one of the holiest holidays of the year, and we learn he has risen, and that's kind of what
I'm assuming it's Easter, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I got from it, and it's around Easter.
But she's referring to Catalyst, right?
Yes.
The heavenly host, our guardian angels, Catalyst. I love. So in the preview, this is where the preview ended. So this is the last page we'll show from the interiors, and this was such a good place to end on because it's you have no idea what's gonna happen next. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, look at Marshall's face.
Yeah, that surprise face. Yeah,
so good. It's so good. Like that really gets me personally, and I thought, you know what? I really love, like, Eduardo's facial gestures. I really love the way he shows like emotion, them reacting to certain things. And that's another layer to this comic book that makes it so special. Is that, you have on the one hand Marcelo, who's so good at pretty much everything, handling the big stuff. But then you have Eduardo, who's like, in my opinion, better at the storyboarding, at the flow, the fluidity of the storytelling, the flow, but also just the facial gestures, which I think is very important. You read something like Last Flight Out, and it's like, that's a very important part of the whole story, because you have all these like end of the world things happening, but at the core of it, it's about family, it's about love, it's about a father and daughter's bond, things like that. So I thought this was amazing, but I will say this little detail. So obviously they're eating some sort of pot pie, right? Like chicken pot pie or something. Yeah. But I do love the detail right here of you see Orson like mangling this like little plush, and it's a radiant black plush. And you see in the next page, he really tears into it. Like he's ripping it, shit spilling out, fur spilling out. So I love that. And I think this is obviously meant to showcase like the mother's disdain for Radiant Black and how she's just like letting the dog just, like violate it basically. So,
the visual dichotomy was great. I assume Marshall's making these plushies and making some money on the side or something. I don't know who's making them, but it's really funny because you think Radiant Black is the Antichrist. Point. So it's the equivalent of if you got your dog like a devil as a chew toy or something like that. Like, it's so weird, but that's where we're at. The visual dichotomy was really nice though, seeing her saying he'll get what's coming to him as the toy's getting like torn apart. Like, that was well done, and like that's really smart to think about, because you can see like, and also the dog doesn't know any better as well. It's like, this is just something that's showing her apart. Just like she doesn't know any better of like, okay, this is actually your son who actually like sacrificed a hell of a lot, to save, to put Chicago in the state that it's in. It could have been way worse. It could have been no Chicago. He could have been under the rule of who knows what.
What do you guys think of the validity of those names that she said, Seraphim and Cherubim?
I don't.
Isn't she comparing them to different like devils or whatever?
That's what I assumed. I didn't think we might have got the names, but I don't remember them. But she's kind of comparing.
The archangels,
all these characters, and obviously Radiant Black to Lucifer, kind of like the fallen angel here, which was great. Like, she's so into this. This was kind of yeah, completely out of left field, but I love that, just kind of everything that's happened from this second world, and all these people coming over, is now there's a whole religion dedicated to Catalyst, which is definitely kind of crazy. And yeah, personally,
sense, right?
it does, and yeah, this made the issue for me. I think there was one other moment, obviously, what we'll talk about, which was a lot of people's favorite moment. But yeah, to be honest, it was a quick issue, and we'll talk about the crossover aspect of it later. But I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in everything we got, considering there was a cover with Rogue Sun too, and we do get Rogue Sun in here, and I'd say the best thing about this issue is we got Eduardo drawing him.
Right.
But that was about it.
It feels like we got the entree last time to me.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, you get a crossover, like sometimes, like in comics, like people like the crossovers. Like, I don't want to compare it to anything from the big two, but like if you just like a specific crossover, like Kyle and Wally in the 90s, like you can read just those couple issues, and it's just like a small contained story in itself that's enjoyable enough to go back to, and is memorable. And I think they had the potential of something like this. But I was just surprised with kind of they ignored it completely. Like at the end of this issue, they didn't say, "Oh, continued in Rogue Sun." They didn't do anything like that. Like they kind of just reused a bunch of pages spoiler. But yeah, it was a little disappointing in that aspect, for sure. I think they could have done more. And when you go back to this crossover, I honestly don't think there's any reason to read this issue in particular. I would read that Rogue Sun issue again, for sure.
Yeah.
This one, I don't think there's a point to come back to. You get all the context of this issue in Rogue Sun anyways, so that's
a good point.
It makes it a little pointless.
If you're doing a Rogue Sun read through, I don't see why you'd pop into reading here unless you wanted to see who Eva's dating or whatever. Like, it doesn't really matter to Rogue Sun specifically.
No. Yeah,
we'll get into it. I don't want to be negative.
Yeah, like the rigidity of we've talked about this before. Like, even though we all like it, of like each book wanting to be its own thing and then not making it so that you have to read.
That's the best thing about it. Yeah, I would say that's the best thing about it, is if you're not reading Rogue Sun, it's not going to confuse you or anything. You still see a little bit of Rogue Sun in here. So I think in that aspect, it does pass for what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree with you. Like, for me, I think what we're all trying to say is I thought the crossover quality-wise was fine. It was good crossovers, entertaining. It's the structure of the crossover that we found a little bit frustrating. Like, I feel like it doesn't really, you don't get the full potential of the crossover because of the structure. And that's not like, I don't want it to seem like we're directly critiquing like the person who was like, let's do it this way. It's okay. Like, it's like I said, it was a fine issue. I enjoyed it. I'll reread it. I still had really good moments, but I feel like personally, like my personal opinion is that if they wanted to take full advantage of the crossover gimmick, then they should have changed the structure for these two issues to make it more like part one, part two, because I feel like what you guys said, like we said this before recording, it feels like you're watching the same movie, but from a different camera angle. Like you're seeing like a different perspective, but it's pretty much the same things. And like when you see the page where it's Marshall talking to Dylan again, it's nice, but really only because you're seeing Eduardo redraw it. Like that's the only
the exact same dialogue. Once I saw that, I don't want to call I don't want to call it lazy. I think what happened was maybe Ryan and Kyle kind of co-wrote those scenes, and just kind of reuse them in each. So you have a little bit in each, because they didn't change the dialogue whatsoever. It was a good scene, but it was one that we kind of saw already.
It's hard to do. Okay, well, you go.
My take on this kind of is like, if we're doing a crossover between two heroes, usually the story kind of either is separated from either of those heroes' overall story, or they're doing something specific that requires the two of them. This one feels more like a Radiant Black story that had to have a Rogue Sun villain, and because it's a Rogue Sun villain, then Rogue Sun came to kind of wrap it up. So
I agree.
It's kind of difficult to have it be a continuous 1 and 2 issues where Rogue Sun isn't really that big of a character in that specific 2-story issue, you know?
Yeah.
I think like I look at it and I compare it to like Astounding Wolfman's crossover in Invincible, where it's like there were 2 issues. There was one Invincible, one Astounding Wolfman. They both cross over in each one.
Yeah.
And it's a continuation, but they wrote it in a way that such that like it's like almost akin to what the Massiveverse does, except like you don't need to read, like it's like you could read one or the other or both, and it would just be additive. But like it's a little bit different in this because there is continuation between the two, so it's not just 2 different perspectives on the same thing happening. I thought that was a really good one. I really liked that one a lot, or even some of the Tech Jacket like crossovers, even if they're super minor, like where he just comes up for a second. I thought those were really good. Again, like I don't think quality-wise, I don't think this is like bad or anything. I still think it was a great issue. I just feel like structurally it was limiting, and I feel like in the future, I like obviously again we talked about this like Supermassive. Maybe they don't want to do a crossover too wild because then it just becomes Supermassive.
And I think they succeeded in that, especially with re-including the pages from Rogue Sun in this. If their goal was to keep it, if you read this series, you don't have to read others. I think it works in that sense.
I agree. Yeah. I agree, and I think that's excellent. I think all credit to Michael, Kyle, and Ryan, everyone, Nick, and Joe, and everyone involved in the writing team. That's not easy to do. It's not easy to do that.
And you're in the middle of arcs, and you got your own stuff you want to accomplish in your own series. And I was thinking a lot of what Ollie was saying, where this does service Radiant Black story more so than Rogue Sun. I mean, it's a nice little thing for Dylan to have his moment, but it doesn't feel crucial to him. And I wanted to see more of Rogue Sun in that of Marshall in that world of like, oh, you're keeping your villains and jewels. I wish I would try that once in a while. Like, can I get in on that? Like,
I love when he got bitten and he was like, Siri, look up what happens. Or like, look at the animal.
There could be long-term consequences. Marshall gets cursed and bit by a werewolf, so like we could have some long-running implications going forward. So we'll see.
I was hoping like more of the team would meet the other team, like Dottie would meet someone from here, vice versa. I was really hoping for that because that makes it more exciting. When I will say, at the very least, even though it's funny, even though Marshall doesn't know who Ori is, at least they met. Like I'll say that, even though they have no idea who the other person is, they're just looking at each other like, "Who are you? Like, are you Dylan?" Like, at least they have that,
The weird part about this issue in particular too, and I don't know, maybe they met like when Rogue Sun was fighting the other Marshall. I don't know if he got his name then, but in the Rogue Sun issue, we had them being introduced, and in this, we don't at all. He just shows up. And he says, "Oh, we've never met." But he doesn't say, "Oh, hi, my name's Marshall." Like he never says that once, and then they're saying each other's names later. So like
I think because remember he met
Marshall in Supermassive.
So
maybe he was introduced then. Maybe.
Yes, and then he says at the end, he's like, "You met the other guy." So he probably feels a little bit ashamed. Because he's like, "You met the killer version of myself." But he's like murdered all these people.
But it goes both ways because then Marshall met Caleb essentially and his asshole dad. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. So
I want to say
it's actually really funny. Like when you think about it, it's very funny. Yeah.
I didn't get to say this on the Rogue Sun episode, so I'll mention it here. In the page when it says later and they're coming out of the portal together, and you can see Marshall kind of carrying what looks like bongs, 4 or 5 bongs.
Oh yeah,
I think it's Long Island iced tea.
I just no. These are called grenades. These are called
hand grenades.
I searched it up popular too. in New Orleans. It's very it's a very popular New Orleans thing. So it's funny to you that Marshall went, and that's why he chose a lot of them. Like they're very strong guys.
It sounds good. Yeah, it's like a melon. It's like melon liqueur and gin with rum, and then it's like a watermelon kind of.
Well, that's what I like about this series too, like the attention to detail. We get that a lot because in Chicago, because they're mostly in Chicago, but it's nice when they include it in other places that they visit too.
New Orleans is a cool setting for a superhero series. Like we don't talk about it. It's a cool vibe. Sure. Like there's a reason Strange Academy is there.
Even Chicago, honestly, even Chicago is like really good for what it is, for what Radiant Black is and everything. Mm-hmm. They chose very well the settings. I do agree. Yeah, I do love that. Like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was kind of it was cool and it was a little weird also getting like the supernatural aspect in Chicago. Like we haven't seen that at all. So that was a cool aspect. I guess Marshall thought this was gonna be Mothman and he got catfish as he said, which it was
so funny because you guys know Mothman is like Bigfoot, right? Like it's like one of those urban legends that like there's this thing in the city, and some people theorize that it's like owls that people saw in the city, and because owls are so freakishly looking and you wouldn't expect to see them in a city, that people like confuse them, especially in fog-like areas. I don't really have an opinion on the matter.
Is this a real thing? Are you saying this
Yes,
is like
yes,
a
yes,
real
yes.
thing?
It's a real thing.
urban
It's like
legend,
Bigfoot. It's like some people believe it's a real
urban
thing.
legend.
And exactly. Like nobody actually has seen it. Like for like
it's not just Marshall's mom with the conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Bigfoot in the sense like some people swear they've seen it and there's all this evidence, but then other people think like no, there's like logical or scientific reasons for this, and just people just haven't like found it yet. So, but yeah, like I thought it was really cool that Mothman is the reason that he goes there, and he's like super excited. He's like, "Oh, Mothman, I gotta go." I thought that was really cool. I love that they showed Eva, even if it's just a brief second of them eating bags, sitting on the same couch. I love that they show Eva. The relationship is really funny and cool. I love it. They're like friends.
Yeah,
it fits the character.
I love that his name is saved as Marshmallow in her phone.
Yeah,
like I love that. I think that's so funny. That was such a nice like little touch.
They're really close. Like she might be his best friend.
His only friend now. Yeah, his only friend now that Nathan's gone. Yeah, like her and Mrs. Burnett.
And to that generation, Marshmallow is like the modern Beethoven as well, the DJ. So it really just works. Another thing, this was the most Sam Raimi Green Goblin shit ever on this rooftop, where you have the villain like in a cloak. Like I'm not that. I'm not a screaming lady. I'm actually a werewolf. One thing I do think the crossover hurts. Like we see it on the cover, there's going to be a werewolf, but we know he's tangling with this werewolf at some point. So you know that we're getting a werewolf here. So I do think that was like an interesting decision to make it like suspenseful as to who it is. It should have just been like, whatever, werewolf on the news. But not that this ruins the issue, but it just takes me out of the narrative a bit where I'm like, well, this is kind of weird when I know what's happening. Also, it fits Eva's character if she just pops in once in a while because she can do the portal stuff anyways.
Right.
Yeah, I love that B plot where basically like she's on a date or she's seeing this new person and she's constantly like back and forth, and like she's I guess her girlfriend or person she's seeing is unaware that she keeps popping out. But yeah, just getting this FaceTime call between Marshall and Eva was pretty awesome. Obviously Marshall calls Eva and is just asking for help, and just these couple poses, like you get Radiant Black like choking out the werewolf in one scene, like it's like they're like in like a big wrestling match or something, and it's it's great. I was confused about one thing though, is where we see that the Eva, I don't think we got her name, the other girl that Eva's with, but yeah, basically she's talking French the whole time, and then kind of at the end of this big conversation,
her name is Muriel, right?
Muriel, okay. And at the end of this big conversation, she just kind of has like a bunch of dialogue in English, which did confuse me a little, because it seemed at this time that while Marshall and Eva were having this conversation, she didn't really know what was going on, and then at the end she kind of just seemed like she knew English, so I was a little confused on that. Maybe I was reading it wrong, but I love this dynamic, which really led to one of probably the biggest page I saw.
That's pretty cool
all over.
She should thanking Marshall. Marshall literally just got her some action. Like, what do you even say? If she didn't wake them up, there'd be no playing touchy on the couch. I tell you that much.
That's true.
So, like, Marshall really is the love maker here, because the sesh started after he disrupted them. So really, she should be happy. But I do love, like, I'll say the page where she conjures the two portals that are like side by side, but clearly one porting them from New Orleans to Chicago. And
the wolf's face there is
exactly.
His face was hilarious.
His face is so funny.
Bad dog.
Even like Radiant Black's face in the next page where he's like, "Okay, you don't have to rub it in my face." It's like so funny.
Yeah. And I did see Eduardo. He did say this was his favorite page. Yeah, he got to draw in this issue, which I could see why. It's a classic.
Also, quick little lettering detail: when they're on the bed before she answers Marshall and she gives her a kiss, the like smooch sound is in French.
Where?
It says "bise."
Bise. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I like that. Yeah, and this is where we kind of, like Bash was saying, get to this this same moment we've got in Rogue Sun, but kind of just a different perspective all together, which was cool in a sense to see. I couldn't help but be bothered a little bit about the structure of it, but I don't know if it was my own, and it probably was just my own expectations of a crossover. Like, we heard these two issues were having both these characters. I guess maybe a lot of people assumed it was a two-parter, but in my head it was supposed to be a two-part thing. So I don't know if
I think
was...
it still is.
I think we're conditioned.
It still is,
I think
but it doesn't have Rogue
Sun. A two-parter means you pick up from the last one. This is like two parts, each dealing with it in the same way. So two different perspectives on the same part. So that's what it is. I will say I agree with Charlie. I think it's maybe like indirect conditioning. Like we've just.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, like we read comics so long. This is traditionally how they are. I do respect them for following like their rules and like and doing what they want to do. I give them all respect. And again, I think they delivered in terms of like the promise of like you don't have to pick up another book to. They're just purely additive. But if you just read one title, you should get pretty much everything you need to out of it. I agree that they've done that fantastically. There's a little bit of disappointment in the sense that like, you kind of already know what's going to happen here, but I do appreciate that it's from a different perspective. So you still have some things to take away from the issue. I thought it was a great issue. Yeah. I thought it was a good issue, like solid, not my favorite, but not bad. So I would give it like an 8, 8.5 personally.
It's got its own identity for sure, even though it isn't the crossover we all kind of like were maybe anticipating. When Marshall transforms into Radiant Black, or we use the power, it says Jesus and it's the Radiant text.
I don't know what
he
said.
Did he say Christ or fuck? If he says
Jesus, I think he said fuck.
I think he says Jesus Christ because then Clyde says Christ you bitch a lot. Like why else would he say it?
Okay.
Like, maybe he doesn't.
How does he know Radiant? How does he know Radiant?
Okay.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
That's a good point. I'll go back and search that out for sure.
Did sound a bit different to me. Like it did sound a little jarring from how he talks in the other issue. It might be that's just something just to me. Maybe I have to reread it again.
Clyde, you mean?
I'm pretty sure it's Clyde. Yeah.
Like the werewolf. Yeah.
I think it's fuck because it's not enough letters to be Christ.
I was wondering if the one dash. I think Jesus. If it is, then that's one of my favorite text bubbles in the series.
It's one of the one of the two for sure. I love the scene where he first gets downtown and people are just like saying all this like bayou slang. I guess they call it, and Marshall just has no idea what anyone's saying. They just start throwing cans at him. I have no idea what they were saying either. Like they have a lot of slang down there apparently. But I love that they include that kind of stuff.
What's cool to get like French in France, and then we get the French dialogue, like modified French here. That's kind of interesting. I didn't really realize that. So even in this, that's true. Even if I'm not super high on an issue, there's always a ton of stuff in this series, and it's so meticulous that even if the crossover might feel a little clunky-ish to me in some ways, there's a lot of good stuff here.
I agree. Did you guys notice that? Like, I don't know. This is just a very random thought. Like, in the issue of Rogue Sun, when we see Dylan kind of holding the kid, shrouding him from the incoming train that's gonna knock them. For whatever reason, it doesn't feel as serious as it does here. Like it's really dark. like you're just going to your friend's city to like ask for his help, and you see him like crouching in front of a train. Like I'm sorry. Like that's really dark, and it's like it's especially dark when you consider that Marshall did almost the same thing when he put himself between him and the train when he wanted to force the robot, the Colossal, to take him to existence. So I'm like, dude, that's really dark. Like it's a brief, so like you don't really think about it, but it's like when you think about it, like imagine you go to your friend's house and imagine you see them like in the fetal position, just talking to themselves. You'd be like, the fuck, you know what I mean? Like you'd be like, what's going on?
No, this is some Jeremy Renner shit. I think they might offer Rogue Sun like half the money.
Only half, Next crossover, he's only getting half the budget.
Brutal. Not a good look, Disney, but who could believe it? Muriel, that's interesting. Is she a vampire? Because I've never met anyone named Muriel under 100. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, she reminds me of Barb from It a little bit, like her design, which I think is cool.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, good call.
I see that.
Which I think is cool. It's cool to see Eva like living her separate life. I wouldn't even mind like a Radiant Pink one shot would be cool to see what she's up to. Like, is she doing superhero stuff? You know, I think that there's room for that.
Even if they do, like, if they want to get like, if you want to have fun, like pure fun. Like you just want to be silly. You don't want to do something serious.
Eve is the character.
Give us like a Radiant Black, like Valentine's Day one shot or
True.
Like do the seasonal bullshit. I love the season. I personally love the seasonal bullshit. Like I love that kind of crap. So you guys want to do a Halloween special? You want to do a Christmas special? You want to do a Valentine's special? This is technically a low key Easter special. So we'll give them that. But like if you ever want to do, seriously guys, Team Massiveverse, if you ever want to do like a Valentine's Day special of just like all these guys just having stupid romantic moments, something just stupid for fun, man, I'm so down for that.
It's like Dylan trying to get back with Vanessa, Radiant Black.
Just literally just do an issue where you're focusing on like all those people, like
Nathan and JJ.
His name, the glasses, the nerd that he used to get bullied by Dylan. Remember he was dating the girl that
there's Reggie and I don't know which one's. I still don't know which one died.
Byron.
Yeah. Do one of like Byron and his girl. Do it like just do the most random shit. Do like a random like one page of Mrs. Burnett like going on dates now that she's in like done her. So just to have fun with it. Like I love that kind of shit. Like, do you guys remember there was like so much random shit at the end of Invincible? Sometimes there's just random one-off stories, but then they do seasonal stuff from time to time. Like they did the Science Dog like backup story in Invincible 25, which had nothing to do with anything. Then they continued that story in others, in Skybound X and all those other things.
I could see them doing that, like making them shorter, like back story, like just like a back issue, just a short story telling those individual tales, like School of Business. Obviously, but yeah, I think the good thing about the Massiveverse too, like they're always so in current times that we get a lot of seasonal stuff just organically, which is also good. But yeah, that would be a blast for sure.
Well, this story almost is the love era because like there's so much dating already. This is the most dating we've seen in the Massiveverse. Like Marshall fall in love.
Marshall's like the only one, like he's into someone, but he's the only one who's not involved with someone right now.
Yeah. Right now, you got a date with Jaeger. And
we don't know about Nathan yet, but I guess he's.
Oh, I hope so Nathan. I hope Nathan met someone, and I hope it's not Justine. That's all, or that's her name, Justine.
JJ.
JJ. I hope it's not her, because like, you can do better than that, Nathan.
I think it'd be cool if Nathan was making his own indie film or something, or like in Vancouver or Georgia, like Inside Baseball, but where you actually have to go film now because like the tax breaks and stuff. Like, there's a lot.
It would be. You know what would be super cool? I'm just gonna do this just for the pure fun, like for the fuck of it right now. Just gonna put that out there. It'd be so fucking cool. Like I would lose my shit cool if like he's visiting Nathan. Nathan is in a writer's room for a show, and in the same room, Ryan Parrott's with him writing the show. I would like lose my shit because Ryan Parrott does that for a living. So I would be like, bro, that would be so cool. Like I would like, I'm like. You know what I mean?
That'd be awesome. So much fun. Have like an Infernals poster behind them or some shit.
Yeah. Fucking do it all that shit. Have that day next to it and everything. Man, that would be sweet in like a stupid way, but I would love it. I would personally like love that so much. So like, yeah, guys, have fun. Do this shit. Fuck it, man. Do it all. Do it all. Do it all.
There's a lot. I did say this was like the funniest issue of Radiant Black. It's up there for me. Like with the that werewolf panel alone, pretty much solidifies that. And for the crossover, it gave us just that, so whatever. It's hard. Like reading it did feel kind of like what's the intended order, and it kind of felt like I don't know. To me, the problem is there's been so many great crossovers before in the series, even just like 3 or 4 issues back with the ending of the Catalyst War, we saw a lot of people crossing over. Right. So I feel like that kind of even with lowered expectations, it's like I felt like I got part 1 before, and I just got kind of like bonus content later on, like a director's cut almost. So like. Still well written, expertly drawn and rendered and stuff like that, but it's hard not to feel, like
there's some stuff left on the table.
Yeah, for sure. Not terrible, but for me, I do think it could have. I don't know. Maybe the situation of where they are in the series, in their all arcs, like I said earlier, really made it more difficult. But I wanted a bit more.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And yeah, right when they meet up too, like it's not just that one conversation, but yeah, all their conversations once they meet up is all the same dialogue. So we do get that. We get it redrawn, which is very cool and kind of from different perspectives and such. But yeah, all the dialogue's the same. So yeah, the conversation is obviously great. That they have about just wanting to please, I don't know, just get the people to trust them, and just how you got to keep fighting and do your best, and kind of things will follow.
I think a little bit of what
that's
Dylan's
good.
saying was almost advice for himself as well. Like
Oh,
he's
for
almost
sure.
because he's on that path himself, and he's almost like
Yeah.
saying like, I don't know, this is what I'm doing. It's kind of working, but I'm gonna keep doing it. You should probably do it too.
100%.
Yeah, like that's how
And
I
we
like
and we saw that last issue too, with Dylan kind of like after Radiant Black saved them. Like he took the kid and brought it to his mom and said, "Oh, tell your parents Rogue's son saved you." Trying to just get their trust. So yeah, it was cool to see kind of Dylan. I wouldn't say maybe step out of his comfort zone a little bit and just kind of have this conversation with Marshall.
I agree with you. You're right. He's stepping out of his comfort zone because like most of the time people are telling Dylan what to do. So for once someone's asking him his opinion, and it's like that rarely ever happens.
Yeah. And that is a point of like, you can't give up on people even if they suck. Could be talking about his dad and stuff like that, or maybe even his mom, who we know who he really wants to save. So I will say that is a good point. And I was thinking about that. Of this scene, it felt like it fully benefited the Marshall arc, but also it shows how Dylan's grown and his inner thoughts, and it's a good way to express it with somebody who's in a similar spot. So yeah, I do think that's probably the strongest point of the crossover, is getting this moment and hearing, hey, you're not just keep trying.
Yeah. I guess just seeing it twice is kind of a bummer. Although it is a great scene.
At least we get to see Eduardo draw Rosa.
Yes,
He looks really good.
100%. Yeah, no, that was very cool, and we do obviously get a little teaser of what's to come next.
Jaeger bomb
after this Jaeger bomb. that was really good. But yeah, I guess he's going to go see his mom.
Dylan's hair kind of looks fiery here too. Eduardo did a great job there.
I love that. I'm glad you noticed it. I love that touch. Yeah,
that's very cool.
Well done.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. And yeah, so after, I guess Marshall's gonna go see his mom, and obviously Jaeger's listening to him. He's always in the shadows, but I love the one panel where he flies off and it kind of
homage to the issue 1.
The issue 1 homage was very cool.
So good. Yeah,
very, very cool. And yeah, Jaeger, we're about to see what he's all about. I think Bash had a good kind of what's possibly to come. But yeah, I think he's it's gonna get a little more personal for Marshall here.
So, my theory is that he either kills Marshall's mom, and then Marshall is faced with another trial of whether he's going to like erupt and move closer towards his villain persona, or like continue to be cool, or he's gonna steal his mom, like kidnap her, try to use her as leverage in some sort of like trap, and then Marshall's gonna save his mom, but revealing that he's Radiant Black, and that's going to change their relationship moving forward. How that's going to change it, I don't know, but I think one of those two things will happen.
What if we had like Jaeger revealed to be like Marshall's dad from the other timeline? That'd be fucking crazy. I don't know how that would.
That would be absolutely crazy. I want to see anything about this guy. Like we've gotten like little hints from like he didn't like this restaurant or whatever. But yeah, I really want to dive into that, and I'm wondering if we ever will, or it just doesn't matter because he was such a piece of shit. So it's kind of just whatever. But yeah, a little teaser. I think Jaeger's it's gonna be a big issue next issue. I think it's gonna put Marshall through another gauntlet, like we were talking about, and yeah, it's been awesome getting Eduardo on all these issues. After I guess Marcelo's busy doing a lot of design work and stuff, which makes me very curious. But yeah, it's really been a treat getting Eduardo on all these Marshall issues. And yeah, we also we'll talk about it, but I did like the Marshall School of Business as well.
We got
a good one.
It was cool, but it was that Megan movie.
It was Megan.
It was Megan, right? Like it was Megan and Chucky mixed.
Megan and Chucky.
Well, there's a sequel coming up. Megan 3 again.
No, but it was good. It was good. I really liked it. It was different. It played more into like his personal taste, like the Marshall's personal taste, more like as a movie person, and obviously the personal taste of the writer, who is Alex Antone. So
Becca
I thought it
was on this one. So
yeah, there you go.
She made the issue in some way, which is cool.
And
Igor
did the colors. Yeah,
that's very cool.
The
no
idea
wonder it looks so nice. Yeah.
The idea of a robot that can just like get your innermost secrets is like, oh, it's no wonder she left just like your father. Like, oh my god, you're never breaking into a house again. Who needs prison? You're already reformed. But I loved it. I think this is a top tier school of business.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it was.
I agree.
Too.
I would have to agree. Yes, it was funny, and it was very. It flowed very smoothly, and I really liked the panel work because I really like when they do like mixed panels like that. Like they change. There's no like linear progression of panels. Like I really like when people mess with the composition, but it still flows nicely. I think that's really cool. So for especially for a 1-page story that is like a whatever, like it's just for fun. I think like this is a lot of effort put into that, and it shows. So that's nice. And
can you imagine if Marshall retired and actually did start like a business school? That'd be pretty cool. Like at the end, like that's his arc. Like at the end, and they're both like college professors.
See, if Nathan ended up
subsidized by the post office,
what Marshall would have been doing.
Yeah,
that's so.
And we see
the cover. It's gorgeous. Holy
it's
shit,
the reflective era of the helmet.
Here,
for sure.
I put let me pull up the cover here before we head out. We gotta show the people something.
Also, if Jagerbomb's coming up, we might have a psychic Red Bull show up. That's on the table. Who knows?
The cover. Yeah, what it reminds me of, I was reading this indie book by Drew Craig called The Savage Strength of Starstorm, and one of the issues, the cover is exactly like this. And I shared it in the Discord. So I wonder if someone saw it and was like, "This is cool. I'm gonna do something similar." Or even though if not, I mean, it's not the first time someone's done a reflection. But when I say it's exactly like this cover, it's literally like same composition, same pose, same everything. So I thought that was really cool. I love this cover. I think it's one of the best cover A's of the whole series. Yeah. Like this cover goes so hard. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know they've done like bath bombs and a bunch of stuff, but if they really wanted to go hard, just have like a 1 in 1,000 cover with actual like mirror texture on there so you can see your face in the helmet. that would be wild, but yeah.
And it looks like Jaeger's he's expanded his team a little bit. Like we get kind of the same looking guys, but a whole crew of them. So yeah, I think that's gonna be interesting for sure. But yeah, love the reflection. And we also got a cool piece of art in the
letters.
The letters too.
Yeah.
Don't know exactly who did it, but yeah,
it was a user submitted. It was someone who wrote in the letters.
It was very
you could
cool.
see their names there, yeah, because they asked, they're like, "Can you put my thing?" And Michael basically said that if you draw fan art and you send it with OK to print, and if it's of their character, not like your take on a Radiant character, then they'll print it. So if you guys do that, send in your art. It would be really cool to see it in the back of the book. So let's just say Radiant Black 34. I'll tell you guys right now, the release date is May 28th. So we're keeping that beautiful monthly schedule. Here is the 1 in 25 cover by Matt Taylor. So this is also going to be another version of foil. Yeah, so it's going to be foil. It's going to look so much better on the foil. I don't know. These guys, Team Massiveverse, they've been going all out on these foil like incentive. They look so good. Like seriously, they look incredible in your hands. Like when you hold it, you're just like, oh my god, this looks incredible. So just pre-order this. Can't wait to get it. Yeah,
not just
right?
We got some sweet covers. Yeah, cover game. Some of the strongest covers in comics, like most consistent. Like if you can find a bad cover, we'll give you $1 on Venmo. But
you guys notice that like every Radiant color is on that cover. Like you have black, you have yellow,
you got green.
You have green, exactly. You have green. So I'm just like, yeah, exactly. And there's red on the left because of a mix of a few colors. Like you can see a little bit of red. Because mix yellow and pink, you'll get kind of.
I think they hate hearing about Radiant Green as much as they hearing about Kathy. I think they hear about green, they're like, "It's not going to be a green. There'll never be a green." It's like that meme of like, "There's no Superman, whatever. There's no Easter Bunny. There's no whatever." Like, yeah.
Do you think we'll see this God mode next issue? Maybe if Jaeger captures the mom or does anything. Do you think
it'll be
a possibility?
Then it's a God bomb.
You were talking about the crew. Here's a closer look at the crew. We have the Ricardo Ribaldo connecting covers. I think, don't quote me on this, but I believe this is the last one. So maybe there's one more, but I feel like this is the last one.
You sure?
So,
it looks like
actually, there's probably one more. There might be one more. Yeah, there might be one more. Because I remember there were 5, right? So 31 to 36. Yeah, there might be one more. So this is like the penultimate one right here. The guns are cool. Yeah, it's cool to get a nice. This is gonna look really nice in the full image. Like when we get the whole thing, it's gonna look much better. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, if you're a collector and you want these connecting covers, make sure you pre-order them. Like I was telling you guys, the variants are going to be super scarce. Like not many stores are ordering this open order covers at all. So if you're one of the people that are like, oh, I'll just get it later, trust me, get it soon. If you're a completist, get it sooner rather than later, because I swear they're going to be a pain in the ass to get later.
Who knows where prices are going to be? Xbox is like committed seppuku when they're jacking the price by $100. So you don't know this time. Get it while you can.
Isn't that all like PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox now are increasing their price to $80 for a new
I don't know
game,
if PlayStation has said anything yet.
Bro, I'm pretty sure. But you think PlayStation's not gonna do it, bro? You think
they're probably gonna do it? I'm just saying they haven't said it.
This is why when you see me guys cuss Marvel out, I do it because if Marvel does something, if Marvel Comics does something, like they make the price of whatever this much. If DC and Image see them, it's working for them, they're just going to do the same thing.
Yeah. Because why wouldn't they?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, why leave money on the table, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, this has been an amazing episode. Thank you so much for joining us for the second part, or 1.5, or like alternate look at the second part of the crossover. We had a great time. I also just posted on our channel, on my channel, on the Comic Sheet channel, something about Radiant Black. Basically, like if you like Invincible, you have to read Radiant Black. So check that out if you haven't. It's very.
Let us know in the comments. Was this a crossover? What did you think about it? Like, did you think it was a 1.5? Let us know.
Yeah. And then let us know what other kind of soft meaning one or two characters. So something that's not super massive, but if one other character could cross over in the Radiant Black title or Rogue Sun or whatever, what would you want to see? Would you want to see Dead Lucky come to Rogue Sun? Would you want to see this villain go there? Let us know what your dream, just like soft crossovers. Like
Orson meeting Kitty, anything.
Yeah, that's actually great. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you want to see, and we can talk about it in future videos. I'm very excited to hear what everyone has to say. Anyways. We'll see you guys next time on May 28th for the 35, right? No, 34th. For the 34th issue of Radiant Black. The rebuild era continues. Take it easy, everyone, and stay radiant.